She says, I kind of wrecked my car a little bit there. I said, did you hit a fender? What? She says,
kind of wrecked my car.
She
it was
says,
like a 90-degree angle.
She says, I totaled it.
Daily Logic Check. Welcome to the sports edition of Daily Logic Check. I'm Elizabeth Vargas, your host, with my co-host, Andrew Vargas. Today we have Alexis DeJoria in the house with her father, Paul DeJoria. Alexis DeJoria is known for her speed racing personality. She lives full throttle through thick and thin. Alexis, you are an amazing woman.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. It takes one to know one.
Well, I can't thank you enough for being on our podcast. When Paul's like, hey, Alexis, they're doing a movie about you. They're shooting one about your life, at your estate. I was just thrilled that we were invited to come interview you the same time. It's the luck of the draw, right?
I had my hair and makeup done, so it turned out to be a perfect time.
You just walked down the stairs and was like, here she comes.
It was already.
Looks a little different when she races.
Okay, so I did my research, and you live full throttle for sure. You are a true testament to living and practicing what you preach. You started as a young woman loving speed. I think when you were 16, you went to your first race in Pomona. Is that?
I did. I had seen it on TV many times, and heard many stories growing up with my father racing cannonball races and all the wild stories, and how he would, defy all the obstacles during a race and win. Yeah. So that sounded so exciting to me. I gravitated towards, my father's love for cars and motorcycles. Mm-hmm. And growing up in school, like high school, that's kind of where I gravitated towards too, is the guys building their hot rods and racing them and whatnot. But I went to my very first drag race when I was 16 in Pomona, where we're racing this weekend. Stood in the sand.
In 2 days, right?
Yes. Tomorrow, actually.
Oh my gosh.
Was sitting in the stands, and the cars were about to go down the track, and everybody's plugging their ears, and I'm sitting there looking at my friends like, what are you guys doing? You're so lame. And then the Nitro cars came down the track. And I was just like amazed by the sound, the smell, the feeling. It's just
energy.
The fastest accelerating cars in the world. There's
0 to 300 in 4 seconds, right?
Less than 4 seconds and 1,000 feet.
Wow.
Nothing accelerates quicker than that. Not a fighter jet off an aircraft carrier, the space shuttle, nothing.
So as a little girl, you're just sitting there like, I want to do that.
Try sitting there going 335 miles an hour in 3.89 whatever seconds.
8.4.
8.4 seconds.
3.84 seconds.
So you were sitting there with your girlfriends, and you just looked at them and said,
no girlfriends, just all dudes.
Oh, all dudes. Oh, okay. So
but that's
which it's pretty much the same now,
right?
I'm on a team with 12 guys. It's just
it works,
I think that's what got you into drag racing, but into speed, no. My story's a little different. She's turning, two stories, okay? One, which is really cool. Turning 16 years old, my kids get cars at least 3 years old. I don't care what I could afford, not a new car, right? So we're looking for a car for Alexis, and she comes and tells me, Dad, I bought this car. It's something brand new called an SUV. It's like a van with windows, right?
Well, I hadn't bought it yet.
No, but you wanted to buy it.
So you were pitching him on it. You already started pitching him on the car.
It met all the criteria.
It did.
Used,
it had to be old.
Safe.
Yeah, safe, like bigger.
So I get excited, okay? So anyway, okay, let's get it.
We went to Long Beach to go pick it up.
I take her down to Long Beach to pick up the car, right? So now she's following me home, and I talked to Clint Eastwood on the phone, and I said, Clint, I got Alexis behind me. We got her a really cool car. I said, it's like this thing is called an SUV. It's a van that they put windows into, right?
This thing called an SUV.
Clint says to me right away, JP, is it called a Typhoon? I said, how did you know? He goes, JP, he says, JP, I just sold mine. He says, she bought a hot rod. She got you. It's one of the fastest cars in the world. He says, I sold mine because it's dangerous. You go around a corner so fast you can flip over. Short time later, she sold it.
I only sold it because the frame was bent and nobody told us about that. So
see, Andrew, I knew this personality was going to be great.
Those Typhoons pull over 1G on acceleration.
Oh,
don't
really?
Great.
Yeah. Wait, they do?
Yeah, they're fat.
I
do they make
a lot
them
of
anymore?
races. I won a lot of street races.
It was a sleeper because nobody knew about it.
Nobody knew.
It's like a GMC Jimmy, slammed down, has a race package in it. but it's so fast. I mean,
my
that car
God.
was so rad. And a friend of mine in high school had the pickup version, the Cyclone, and he put a chip in his. But he was
Wow,
wild.
man, that
God
is-
rest his soul. He's no longer with us, but he had the Cyclone. I had the Typhoon. Black on black. It was pretty.
Do you know who
Pretty
you sold
cool.
it to? Do you think you could get it back from one day?
Oh God, no!
knows?
I mean,
A
I
long
see
time
him
ago.
from time to time, and I'm just like, oh.
But that's
the
all,
good
by the
old
way,
days.
that's
I
only
remember that
that's
car.
only half the story, okay?
Okay.
Now I had bought at
He's
that
like,
time.
I bought you a race car. What did you do? What did you do?
I had bought, and it was made for me. There's only, I think, 19 made in the world, only 3 like mine. I went and bought a Vector W2. Fastest car ever made. Looks like the Batmobile.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
700-800 horsepower.
It was built in Venice, actually, by the same people that built the
Exactly.
the stealth bomber. I believe.
What?
It's all engineered with avionics.
What year was this?
Okay, it's called a Vector.
I know,
Okay.
but what year
What
was
year
this?
was
that
this?
all
Well,
the time?
It was a
This
long
19
time ago.
She's like, I don't even know the year. Don't even worry.
1991. I bought it in
about
1991.
30 years
So it was
ago?
somewhere, 35 years, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Anyways, I bought it.
So that was that was like a,
Oh yeah. So anyways, I get the car right. Now I have to pick it up in LA, and at that time I lived in Las Vegas. So I was driving to Las Vegas and Lexi, let's take a tour together. She already turned 16, so she could drive, right? So we go and we hit the California-Nevada border. I said, you want to drive? He goes, yeah, of course, right? So of course
like a
she jumps in
two-lane
it.
road.
And
Yeah.
son of
Long
a gun,
stretch
like,
of road.
Wait, you
whoa.
let her drive?
She let her
Well-
drive it. She was going, I mean, she
Okay,
just...
but-
Well, let me tell my side.
Okay, 'cause
Okay, so we're in a thing, right? All of a sudden, she floors the damn thing. We're on this highway going 200. The car went 227 miles an hour. She's going 200 miles an hour.
16?
I never even drove this thing, right? So I said, whoa, slow down, slow down. It's going so darn fast, right? That was the first time, in my opinion, she ever went 200 miles an hour or more.
Are you kidding me? Well, now
Vector.
Yeah,
ready
but
to
were
hear
you
my
mad?
side
You
of the
got
story?
her.
Let's hear her,
I'll show you a
let's hear
picture
her
of the
side of
car.
the story.
You ready to hear my
Let's hear her side.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, listen. So this is how I remember it. Okay.
Okay.
We're on this
okay.
long stretch of road.
Yes, we were.
There's nothing. It's like
Nothing.
broad daylight,
That's right.
middle
Las
of the
Vegas.
day,
That's right.
open roads.
Yep.
We're behind this car, and they're kind of slow. And
She's
I was
already
like,
impatient at 16.
yeah, I was like,
Road rage.
And he goes, "You can pass them if you want to." I was like, "You sure?"
Oh, so he let you.
No, yeah. You could pass the car. It's fine. He goes, you could step on a little bit. You can pass the car. I
Oh,
was
you're
like,
right. No, you're right. I agree with you. You're
I
right.
was
That's
like,
true. Could be right.
okay, you sure? Yeah. All right.
Whoa.
Just fucking took off, went up to 100 miles an hour, and he was like, "Whoa! Oh my god!"
Went to 200 miles an hour. Well, I
What
saw
did
it
I
go
say
to
to her?
200.
Oh well, yeah. I was
You can
creeping a
barely
little
see
bit.
the road. You can barely see the
But
road.
yeah, he
So
was
that
like,
gave you
"That's enough.
That gave you your first excitement.
My
Yeah.
niece, she just turned
pretty
16,
awesome.
and I taught her to drive. And if I was in a car right now and she
badass,
did
though.
that to me, I would freak out. 'Cause
I
I'm-
did a perfect pass, got back in perfectly. It was all good.
All safe. So if
was
you're
sa-
on a
it was
long
safe. It was
stretch,
safe.
though, I mean, 200
It
miles
was
an hour is
safe.
easy.
Though.
It was
I
safe.
double checked with him. I was like, "Are you sure?" He's
It was
like,
safe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Was
it
it?
was safe.
But was there two
totally
lines in the middle of the
No,
road?
you're right. I remember.
it
No,
was
you're right. I
totally
remember.
safe.
You're
Like,
100% correct.
yeah.
straight is the way to go.
Yeah.
If you're going to go fast, go straight.
Exactly.
We drive up to Washington and he goes really fast, and it's like there's these straightaways, and I'm freaking out, and he's like, "Don't worry about it." I mean, so I can't imagine being JP
Well, you
in
got a
your.
nice car. It handles
He's
it,
in
no
your
problem.
hot
The
seat.
16-year-old driving
Yeah,
a
that
Vector
would-
past the car. I was like, he basically gave me the green light.
Wait, what car did you learn to drive on from the beginning?
It was a
who
stick
taught
shift.
you?
It was like a Toyota Corolla stick shift.
But who
that I
taught
had
you how to drive?
rented. Different
you?
people.
Okay.
My
Oh, you
dad,
learned,
my
okay.
Okay, I'm gonna
boyfriend
take-
at the time. I had like a rental stick shift car that I got like
She could
like,
learn
licensed
on.
it. Like I just
Just learn from multiple. So you didn't even just take one person. You were like wanting to learn from multiple people. So you like cars from the
there was,
absolute
like,
get-go.
You know, it was like it takes a village. Takes a
To
village.
teach
But-
you,
but-
or just to teach
Just
in general?
However-
just I think
however-
in our family.
However,
You guys need
when
a village
she
for
was
everything.
much younger than that, I bought her and her sister these little electric cars. I had enough money to buy those electric cars with, you know.
Oh, so you
And-
got the baby cars. That's what I wondered.
look
Like,
how
did you
right-
get the hot
she's a
rod, the
kid. She's
three-wheel
nowhere
hot
near
rod?
16-year-old kid. But she would in our driveway where we lived. It was like kind of a circular driveway of the house. She would get in hers, right, and floor the son of a gun, like doing little like spins. What the heck?
back and forth
And were you
and-
the one that ran into my car?
Oh,
or
you
was
said
it your
Bentley?
sister?
No, that was Michaeline.
That was your sister. Okay, she ran with hers.
I love
She
you.
even
I love you,
remembers it.
Michaeline, but she has a history of running into things.
Okay.
Oh my God.
But she's a
not
junior.
gonna
Don't
Never.
look at me.
Yeah,
No,
when she
I
was a
love her to
junior, it
death.
was bad.
But she has crashed every single car she's had since her electric car.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, Andrew, did you say that about me?
I love
You
her.
wrecked every car until
No, I
you
never wrecked it. It was never me.
I need a sip of water.
It was somebody else that
It's
wrecked
very
my
exciting.
cars.
Yeah.
It was never really
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I was going to a Sting concert, 75 miles an hour, and the guy turned left and I didn't know it, and I nailed him. That was my only accident I ever
She went,
had.
to
Wow.
go, she went to go past somebody, and then they took
Going
a
to a
left.
Sting concert. You were like, I can't be late for Sting.
I just can't be late. I was chewing my bubble gum. I was 16. Well, I can't help. I'm dating myself
Wait,
now.
you were
But
16 going to a Sting concert?
yeah, I know. It was crazy.
Badass.
I know.
What kind of car were you driving?
Mercury Capri Sport, red. My dad
get it.
redid it. Yeah, it was all
Yeah.
metal. Like, so when I hit that car,
Wow.
it nailed his back fender,
Oh.
blew his fender off, threw him into an orchard, and I was in the middle of the road. I got thrown out of the car.
You did?
And I lived. Yeah, I was anyway. Ever since then, I'm not scared anymore.
Wow. You're
Because I like
okay, I
speed
know
too.
what that feels like.
I'm not
Yeah,
like you,
get
but I
that.
have a heavy foot, and when I watch you race, I'm like. I get so excited, like
excited like
something
you're in
in my
there?
gut just goes, "Go, girl!" Like I guess,
awesome.
you won. Okay, so it was in Arizona. Okay,
That was my first win.
Arizona was your first win.
Nitro
Phoenix,
win.
right?
Yeah,
Nitro.
Phoenix, yeah.
And how? I mean, so you
2014.
went to 16. Let's back up a little bit. You're loving driving. You went to
Mm-hmm.
school. Where'd you go? You went to a racing academy, or you said she could
That
go.
was for Formula 4 that she went to a racing
Yes.
academy
That's
for.
Oh.
Wasn't fast enough.
Skip Barber's
Wasn't fast enough.
racing school up in Willow Springs. We did like a 3-day course, which was really awesome. I had such a good time. I got my like racing permit in Formula 4s, but it wasn't really it didn't really grab me.
Okay.
Was that your
And
first experience with racing?
Yes.
Okay. How old were you then?
Oh gosh, I was in my like early 20s, late
Okay.
teens.
Oh,
like,
so you're a little
background on
older.
certain-
Okay.
Yeah, I was like early 20s.
Right,
about,
okay.
Yeah. And I just like I loved it. I absolutely loved it, but it didn't really grab me.
Right.
You know.
You didn't feel what you feel
Yeah.
now. That.
Yeah, it was
yeah,
different.
that
I love it.
grind.
Like I love all forms of racing, and I would race anything at this point. But it's just it wasn't like, oh, I gotta do this.
How come you didn't get into fighter jets? I could see you as a fighter jet
I
pilot.
did.
You did?
She flew the
Actually,
F-15.
I flew an F-15 Strike Eagle at Mountain Home Air Force Base in Idaho.
so
That's so
jealous.
funny. I didn't even look at your arm, and I
I'm
thought
so
about it.
jealous.
Like,
Well, she
Well, it's
was
all
trained
kind
by
of
the Air
blended
Force.
together.
wow, I
pretty
could
cool.
see you as like a Top Gun fighter jet chick, getting out with like her hair, like, you know,
Maverick.
You play volleyball by any chance?
I did. Yeah, actually, I did play volleyball in school. Did you really? Yes, I did.
What's the guy on the Top Gun?
Maverick.
Maverick, yeah,
Yes.
You could have been
best.
Maverick, other half. You know.
Oh, I love that movie so much.
I do too. And
God, I
when
love that
they
movie.
just remade it, I guess it was really good. I haven't
It
seen
was.
it.
It
Was
was
it?
really
good.
Okay,
Yeah, it was
I
a
haven't
really good
seen
movie.
it.
Yeah, it was like the Top Gun 2, like after.
Everybody
all
dressed
that.
in Top Gun outfits. I went to the.
Oh,
I went
so
to.
cool.
I was working. I get off really late, and I guess the movie had just gotten out. And I'm driving down the road in Newport, and I see a bunch of people wearing Top Gun outfits. I'm like, it's not even Halloween. I'm like, what is going on? Everyone goes, this movie just came out. I'm like, oh, because it's the middle of the night. Everyone's drunk, wearing glasses and Top Gun outfits. So I'm
fun.
like, this is so
I'm
funny.
such a movie nerd. I would have loved that.
It was a great movie. You
Was
should
it?
totally watch it.
Daily Logic Check. What was next then? Did you, because I love your passion. I want my audience to understand how you went from point A to point crazy Nitro,
Right.
funny car driver, winning awards. You know, I mean, you're an influencer now in that field. And any woman that wants to get into racing, I mean, you're there.
Yeah.
You're it.
Yeah,
Like
I set my mind to it and I made it happen. And that's something that I've always been able to do, whether it's been for good or bad. Sometimes I'm like, I like that man. I'm going to get that man. And then it doesn't work out. But I mean, it works out.
You're like, check.
But then it's like, oh man.
Do you have a calendar where you check it? Do you like write in like, that was a fun moment? in
No,
my
it's just
life.
like, it's that perseverance and I have, that's like that strong will.
Yeah.
And I'm very determined.
Yeah.
And
you can
when
see
I
it in
set
your
my
eyes.
mind to something, I'll make it happen. I can make it
Yeah,
happen.
but
This
she worked
is
her
a-
way up. Like when she got into drag racing, is it called Super Comp? The Corvette you
Super,
had?
yeah. What
Super
was
gas.
the Corvette? So you did.
So when I saw the cars go down the track in Pomona, the Nitro Funny Cars,
Okay.
I said that at that moment, that's what I want to do.
Right.
I was 16. I
knew
still
it.
was in high school. I still had plans to work for the family business out of high school, which I did for a few years. But I said one day I will drive that car.
Wow.
And I had no history in it
You
at
manifested like a funny car.
I did. Yeah,
Bring it
yes,
on.
manifestation. I do that.
Yeah, no.
Once I set my mind to something, that's it. I make it happen. I had talked about it a little bit here and there with people, and they're like, oh yeah, like if you ask my mom, she's like, she's always had a death wish. Snowboarding, skydiving, all that kind of stuff. I just was a wild child.
Adrenaline junkie.
I've
loved
broken
it.
this wrist twice, fractured this knee, split my chin open, had concussions, like
I've
done it all.
had a daughter. You've had it all the pain all over your body.
Yeah, but it's not just like going from a Corvette to Nitro like she is now, obviously the fastest cars, but she went to every step. So I believe the Super Comp, from there she went into bracket racing with the dragster, right?
Yeah, Super Comp.
And won a championship in there, won a race,
Well,
a national race.
Yeah, national event race.
And then she talked about, Dad, I want to go into alcohol funny cars. No, you can't do that because they go 250 miles an hour. She taught me into it, right? So we supported her. She got into Nitro Funny Cars, and then on one of the races actually broke the track record. But in her second race down, something went wrong. When she pulled her chutes, it pulled off her brakes and everything. She went into the sand pit with no brakes other than two little front wheels in front, right? I mean, went through nets that catch you and everything else.
Yeah, you hit it. They said that you hit it like 130 miles an hour.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Got a little tickle.
So anyways, she goes through it all, and then she runs into the big barrels that are full of sand or water, right, to even slow her down. Anyways, I'm not at that race. I'm actually on a vacation in Europe. She calls me on the phone, and I'm glad I was there. She said, Dad, first of all, I want to tell you I'm okay.
You should always start with that.
Always start
Yeah,
with
I'm
that.
okay.
Always.
Yeah, don't
I'm
talk.
okay.
So I
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
Lex, I hope you are. What happened? She says, well, she says, I kind of wrecked my car a little bit there. I said, did you hit a fender? What? She says,
Kind of wrecked my car. It
She
was
says,
like a 90-degree angle.
She says, I totaled it. I said, what? She goes, you're going to get a few phone calls because after I told, they put me in the ambulance, but nobody knows what happened afterwards, right? I totaled the car, totally totaled it. I mean, you could not.
Is it online? Can you see it?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I said, what
I
should
didn't
the
see
dad
that
says,
on
I'm
there. You
okay.
could
You're going to
find
get
it
calls.
on
I'm
YouTube.
okay. I want you to know I'm a little shook up, but I'm okay, okay? I said, how about the car? She says, total. I mean, it's gone. There's nothing on the car. It's gone, total, right? And she was right. Within an hour or so, I got phone calls from everywhere saying, oh my God, I'm so sorry with Alexis. I said, what happened? They said,
God,
oh my
heart.
gosh, she got in a wreck. I said, oh no, I've already talked to her since that time. She's okay. They said, have you seen the race? I said, no. Have you seen the car? No. But she's okay. She called me right after and said, thank God. And then I saw the race afterwards.
And just had a heart attack.
When I got back to the United States, I said, how could anyone survive? It's like an accordion, right? But somehow,
amazing.
because of the protection that they do at the National Outrun Association, they insist, right,
Right.
that she was capsulated inside, went right out of the top,
NHRA has
and was
regulations galore.
able to actually get away from the car there, and shook up, obviously very, very shook up, but she walked away and went right back into racing.
As a father, I mean,
And by the way, let me finish. Okay, I'm sorry. The first race she had, her first run, she broke the track record. I think she went 260 some odd miles an hour, right?
Yeah.
The second
We were
run,
at
though,
the
to
world
make it
record
official.
back and forth.
Yeah,
I saw you drop.
battling
Is that the one
out
where you
the
dropped your
world
knees with the
champion.
award in your
She
hand?
had
and
to
you
do-
were
That
like-
was another time.
That was
Yeah.
She had to do two.
I was like, that's pretty.
She had to do 2 runs to make it official. It was on the second run that everything went wrong and things exploded.
Andrew,
Because she couldn't make the second run, her car was destroyed.
Yeah.
that
And
is
on that
insane.
race, on that run, she broke a world.
As a
world record.
father, how is it to have a daughter that is such an? I mean, yes, she said her mom is like she has a death wish, but you're the dad. I mean, you're sitting right here. You guys have
always have been
similar
there, like,
personalities.
yeah.
You drive
He's
crazy.
been your
You
best-
like fast
your
cars.
biggest fan. My
You
biggest
live life on the edge
Yes,
too.
definitely.
I mean, but you're
Oh, my
a
God.
dude. This is your daughter, your beautiful
I know.
daughter,
Oh.
who like now you know your daughter. Like she's one of those poster girls like this.
Exactly.
She's not like this.
When-
She's
when-
like
when she-
this.
when she
I've done that though. I've been.
Have
the
you done
poster-
one of those?
I've done the ads for Paul Mitchell.
Yep.
The
Have
hair
you?
ads.
Okay, I have to
Yeah.
Google
In
that.
Vogue and all that kind of stuff, but also that's I did that the 4 years I spent in Paul Mitchell learning the ropes. Everybody in our family works in the family business in some aspect, and
At one time
so
or
I
another.
wanted to learn everything about the company.
That's great.
From the phones to the research and development,
nitty-gritty,
to
just get in there.
marketing, to everything, just to get the whole the whole idea of it. And it was incredible, and I learned so much. But I still had this urge in me, this like I needed to do like what was my passion. And growing up, my dad always taught us, if you can make your passion your profession, then you're never working a day in your life, and you're going to be
you
successful.
work hard, and if that's
it's something
not work,
you believe in, yeah.
And
it was what I wanted to do, and I was like, Dad, I love this for this I love you for this opportunity. Thank you so much. And I learned so much. And I'll come back to this. If this doesn't work out, I'll be back. But I have to go see if I could do this, because it's something that I really want to do. And he was like, okay, how can I fight with that? And I took my savings that I had gathered up from working. And I mean, my rent was like maybe $700 a month. I lived in like this little 1-bedroom apartment in Venice. And so I saved up a lot of money, and I went to Frank Colley's drag racing school. And I learned how to race or drive a super gas like car in that like bracket sportsman series. And they had a 63 Corvette Roadster that they were selling for a racer friend of theirs, whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. I can afford that. I'm going to start with that.
Right.
One of my family's friends worked in like the movie business, and he was like, he could drive a truck. I was like, cool, got that guy.
Big Bruce.
You know what I mean?
So you just started grabbing people.
Yeah, and we parked next to people, obviously, that had been racing forever. So we kind of learned from them. Yep. You know, I mean, the first run I made, I was like testing in Arizona in the super gas car, and it was so rad. I came off the top end and drove back into the staging lanes. I was like, cool, let's do it again. And they're like, no, you have to go back to the pit, refuel. There's another class coming up here. Like, you have to wait again. I was like, oh, I just wanted to race. Like, I didn't care about it. I was just like, I love this. This is where I'm supposed to be.
It's got to be in the DNA of the family, because this whole manifestation, I've got to get it done, and I'll do the nitty gritty to get to that end goal is everywhere in your family.
I could have jumped into a Top Fuel dragster or something like that. Yeah. I had the opportunities to, which I even at that point was like, that's crazy.
Right.
Like, I have no history in racing.
Right.
I've never driven anything that fast. I'm just learning the ropes. Like, I would never do that, even with the opportunity. I mean, that's not respectful at all, and that's dangerous. And I've only
learned,
knew
your steps that you
I've had
needed to
really
do.
strong work ethics growing up from my father, and not knowing the sport the way, you know, someone would that earned that spot in that seat.
Right,
You know what I mean? It's
right.
like I have to work my way up and really learn everything. Yeah, so that's what I did, and I made sure that every class that I raced in that I won before I moved to the next class, because my goal was Nitro Funny Car from the beginning. I was like, I'm going to do that, but I'm going to learn every step along the way.
You took the proper steps
and earn
to
my
get
right to be in that car.
Go through the steps.
Yes, because that way you mitigate your dangers.
Yes.
Cinch by the inch, hard by the yard. But I want to share with you, because my daughter's very humble about her successes, so I'm going to share one with you,
Dad.
which is the ultimate. I thought, why do you want to race anymore? Okay,
proud dad moment. It's all good.
I'm in Indy on Labor Day for the Indy race, right? This U.S. Nationals in Indy, she won. No
US
woman
Nationals.
has ever won that before.
Well,
And
no, that's not true, because there was a couple. Ashley Force had won.
she won
Nitro
one?
Funny Car.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, let's say it's
Or
unusual,
one
okay?
other. I was the second.
Second one, okay.
Yeah, Ashley seemed like you guys have similar personalities, by the way.
Ashley Force?
Ashley, the curly hair, is her name Ashley? No.
Which one?
No, not Ashley.
Curly hair.
No, Shirley.
Oh, Shirley
Your idol.
Downey.
She's kind of got
Shirley
that
McDowney.
Yeah, she's a hard ass.
hard
man.
ass. Like,
yeah.
but when you talk, I was like watching both your interviews, and I'm like, this personality is all over the NHRA.
Yeah, that strong kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here, here.
she's incredible. She paved the way for all of us women in motorsports.
Yeah. No, in Andrew though, back to the whole daughter-father thing. You know, I don't have children, and I don't know what it would be like if my daughter decided to get into funny car racing at 300 miles an hour. I don't know what I would do. Andrew, Andrew has a daughter.
13. I'm going to be teaching her to drive soon, and that would terrify me.
Well, the first
To
race,
no end.
tears will come out of your eyes, but then when you see her go straight and true, the tears stop.
I get it, but
I have a funny story about that, actually. So, when I was starting my like testing in a Nitro Funny Car, I had just won, or I hadn't won yet, but I was on my way to winning my first national event title, in alcohol funny car,
That's
which I was the
crazy.
second female ever to do that at a national event. Prior to that, it was like 60 years before that where a woman had won. So it was a really big deal.
Right, absolutely.
And
A lot of
during
pressure,
that
too.
time, I was making test runs in a Nitro Funny Car with Kalitta Motorsports and with Del Worsham and his family car. And so I was kind of like, learning. My very first run in a Nitro Funny Car ever, my dad was there. It was in Vegas. And, I had been racing. I had one of the fastest top alcohol funny cars in the league.
Right.
So, but
You had a really good car.
You're still kind of, it's a short wheelbase car, so you're steering it a lot too. And I think that really prepared me for Nitro Funny Car. Like the learning curve from alcohol funny car to Nitro Funny Car was actually pretty good, considering the fact that you're dealing with like
Completely different machine.
almost 100 miles an hour difference or
That is
more.
crazy.
But my very first run in Nitro Funny Car, so I get up there. And I'm talking to my crew chief, and he's like, I go, Del, so like how far out do you want me to take it, before I shut it down? And he goes, if everything feels good and you're in, you're set up good and you're right. He goes, see if you can get it to about where the clutch comes in, which is about 500 feet, right? That's when like the clutch really seats together, and like it's almost like getting like another launch from the starting line. It's pretty intense. And I was like, okay. And he goes, and you're good after that. You could shut it off, whatever. I was like, all right. And I'm sitting there, and then the track official comes over, and he's standing next to Del, and he goes, all right, so how far are you guys taking it? And Del was like, 1,000 feet, right? And I'm sitting here going,
wait.
Oh, okay. So I'm thinking in my head, like, everything feels good. Just take it to the finish line, right? So my dad's standing there. He's got his camera. He's all excited. Everybody's there. It's my very first run in Nitro Funny Car. It's really, really intense. There's other teams there testing. Like, everybody's standing there, like, the eyes are all on me. Like, what's this girl going to do? Launch, perfect, nice and straight, right in the middle, finish line. Through the chutes, stopped the car, got it all good. And I'm like, yeah. And my dad's like, yeah, like jumping up and down. He's so stoked. And Del said to me, he said he almost wanted to cry because he thought, I just killed this guy's daughter.
Oh my God.
He thought the freaking throttle stuck. And then I was just like, he's like, oh my God. And my dad's like,
Because he was expecting you to let up.
Yeah, to let up at 500.
And then once the parachutes came out and I stopped the car, he was like, oh God.
Thank you, baby Jesus.
And then we get to back to the pit, and I talked to Del, and I was like, oh man, I didn't, and this, and I explained it to him. And his dad, who'd been racing with him forever, he's like, well, she has a point,
she's
Del.
got some balls.
She's got a point. And I was like, oh man, I'm so sorry. And he's like, well, it makes sense. He goes, I thought I killed you.
Oh my God.
What did
you heard him say 1,000 all the way to the end.
Excited, like he's like, yeah, she's killing it. Look at. And I go, don't worry, I won't do that again. He goes, no, you're fine.
No,
you
it's
did
okay.
it.
Go ahead, you're good.
You've definitely succeeded.
So I basically got licensed on my very first pass.
That is
It was
baller
like
right
just,
there. Because you heard the guy.
And didn't the champion John Force sign off on
He
it or
did.
something?
He was
the
standing in
champion.
between the two
That's
grandstands
phenomenal.
watching me because his daughter was testing. And so he was in the middle just kind of like watching everything. Because he'd seen me race alcohol funny car, and he's fun. He's the man. John Force is the man when it comes to Nitro Funny Car, NHRA. There is no one better. And so he was like a huge inspiration for me.
And he was watching you that day?
Yeah.
Okay,
he was
that's
there.
nice.
Signed off on her
So I
license.
got him to sign my license, and Del Worsham, my crew chief
Two great
friend.
people.
I mean, Del's like
Your dream are
driven
coming
everything.
true. You're like,
Yes.
I have manifested this moment, and it's right
happened.
here.
And
How old were you when you got your license?
I was, this was 2010. So I don't know. I was
How many races have you done in your
mid,
so
So it was-
far?
it was a while ago.
I was like mid 20, like early 20s. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So you 16, you had this thought, I'm going to do this.
I will do this.
And you
at some
manifested it within
will do
10
this.
years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I had a goal first to work
Yeah,
for
no,
the family
that's amazing.
business out of high school.
That's
Yeah.
Well,
just
that's
amazing.
admirable.
College
also.
just wasn't for me. I wanted to go, but
You're like, I like to pose, but I like to pose.
Yeah, I took some classes at Otis art school for like computer graphics and things like that. But I just like I love the business. I was so intent on learning as, like being in the trenches, like learning everything firsthand, because that's really how you learn it. You can't learn this business in books.
But think
like, my father didn't do that. Like he can do numbers in his head like nobody's business. That's not me.
But think about what you did though for the family business.
Yeah.
It
still is the family business.
It is, because every single video has Patron on your hood.
Patron.
You
or
literally just
Bandero.
Now
Bandero. Now
Everyone has
Bandero. You have
Exactly.
literally
Family
built the
business.
marketing arm of
Exactly.
the family business.
That's
like
right.
you didn't go anywhere. You just were like, Dad, I'm kind of the extreme sports guy. I mean, look what Red Bull did. All they are is extreme sports.
Yep.
You just literally integrated modern culture into
The
marketing.
advertisement, yeah.
I mean,
You went viral by being the chick, winning all the awards, winning all the races.
I was gonna do it
Badass
no matter
girl.
what, though. I was gonna do it no matter what. I just happened to get the golden ticket with my father being like, "Hey, Patron already sponsors all this.
Yeah.
Why don't we sponsor you?" And I was like, "Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
yes."
Something tells me you would've done it anyway.
No, I want to interject something. It wasn't that easy.
No,
To
it wasn't.
sponsor
You
her,
pitched him, though.
She
I
pitched
did.
me with a
I did.
marketing plan. Here's how many people watch it. Here's the demographic. Here's how
Oh, so
much
you
the
did the
average person
whole
makes.
business
Oh,
plan.
yeah.
It was
Okay.
You have
so
to.
good.
It's
You do have
Patron.
fast
My
stuff.
God,
It
it's
was
Patron.
good. It
You
was
think they're
like,
just
wow,
gonna
this
sign
is
me up
great.
because I'm his daughter? No.
So she's into like proving herself. Like, I'm not just
she
JP's
gave-
daughter.
I mean,
she
it
I'm
gave-
helps.
my own woman. I can build
Definitely
my own
helps.
plan, get my own sponsors, get my own
That's awesome.
everything.
No, she's her own business.
But again, if I wasn't successful, if I didn't have the presence that I did,
So exciting.
it wouldn't be good for the company. And obviously, business first.
Well, and also think about it.
you were good business.
Yes.
Not only
It
do you
was-
have
yeah, very much. They actually saw an uprising in their sales,
in their viewership and
yeah,
sales.
and they actually did.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they can track it down to like minute little specs. It's like a huge deal. They said they saw a difference, and it was amazing because there was people that come to the track that fans that just love the car, they love the team, they love myself and Del Worsham and Connie Kalita, and they just wanted to be a
Part of
fan
it.
and part of it,
Yeah.
and they didn't even drink tequila, but they're like, we want to get Patron.
Yeah.
So how do we do that?
How do we
want to
support
be
you?
a part
Exactly.
of it.
Yeah.
So that alone.
Now it's
and it's like
Bandero.
a moving billboard.
Bandero,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. So now, same thing. People are like, I don't even like tequila, but I want to try this.
I don't know of anybody
where
that
can I
doesn't
get
like
Bandero?
tequila,
We travel all over the nation.
I'm pretty
I've never
sure.
traveled so much in my life within the United States until I started racing NHRA drag racing, and I've gone all over and seen so much and so many different types of people. And
Yeah.
so much fun. Actually, I've really seen so much of our nation. It's been an incredible journey so far.
During one of her interviews, she was asked, "What's it like, Alexis, to be the daughter of a billionaire who really supports you financially,
I hate
everything
those
else?" And then she
questions.
said, and her answer
that
was
would drive
this,
me crazy.
her answer was this,
would
"I
drive me
don't
crazy.
know. That's his money, not mine.
It is.
I create my own
He
money.
loves
This
this
is
story.
my business, not his. I create my own money. Yeah, we're sponsorship,
Yeah.
but sponsorship because I proved to them they could work. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I create my own money."
Yeah, you
Yeah.
were helping. You were actually making money for your dad.
I was
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because if it
Her
doesn't
own
make
paycheck,
sense,
her
they
own
wouldn't
paycheck.
do it, and I wouldn't want to do it anyway.
Yep.
I mean, if I wasn't good at my job, and I can honestly say that, if I wasn't good at my job, I think my dad would have been like, "Honey, why don't you try something else?"
Yeah. Why don't you try I don't know.
We have a nice opening.
That was the thing.
Weaving
glad you're
blankets.
with us.
Here in the
I-
salon.
When I started, that was my goal. Is like, I
Yes.
want to be the best
That's right.
race car driver, not the best female driver. These cars don't know
Yep.
whether you're male or female. I just want to be the best driver. I want to be the fastest driver. I want to be the
I want
fastest.
to be the
this, I
most
wanna be the
qualified
best
for that
driver.
race
right.
and win.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And the success came because I was meant to do this. This is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't, I would have tucked my tail between my legs and came back and been like, well, I did my best. I tried it and it didn't work out. But
Yeah.
that wasn't the case because it was my passion. I was dedicated. And I had early on, I believe I had what it took.
Yep.
So where
know,
are
he
you?
saw that.
You're racing. Okay, wait. So you went into retirement. Well, first off, okay.
I never went into retirement.
never went into
I
retirement.
took a 2-year hiatus to be with my family. My daughter was just turning 16.
Okay.
And it was such a, a really important part of her
Okay.
life. That,
You wanted to be there because that's
yes,
stressful to
you
travel
can't
so
parent
much.
by proxy. It was
Right,
such an
okay.
important time. I needed to be there for her
Okay.
as she was turning 16, learning how to drive. I wanted
Yeah.
to be there
Mm-hmm.
and be with
And you
my
were.
family at
And
the
then
time.
because in
It was really
2020, I was
important.
trying to put the timeline together.
Yeah.
Your car lit on fire.
Oh,
in 2020 in Pomona? Or
Yes.
where was it?
No. That was, well, we had a really bad explosion the race before in St. Louis. And then we went to Dallas or Ennis, Texas, and our car caught on fire. It was a
I
bad
was petrified
oil fire.
for you. I couldn't believe it.
It was a bad oil fire.
You got out of the car and
Yeah, well, the car filled up with this black smoke and you can't tell. I mean, obviously I was slowing down. My steering wheel had came loose right at the finish line and the car filled up with smoke and fire. And I can't see, and I'm trying to stop the car. I'm making sure I'm sticking to the right because I didn't want to get into the left lane to the other car.
You're still driving, it's filled with smoke.
Yeah, well, because you got to stop that car.
Yeah, you're going blind.
Because once you've gone over 300
miles
miles an hour on a consistent basis, you don't have a perception of speed anymore. Everything feels slow. Everything feels slow.
You could be going
20
60 miles
an hour feels like I'm walking.
Okay, so you've got to
50
stop
miles
this
an hour
car.
feels like I'm crawling. It's like you could still be going 30 miles an hour.
Insane.
No. So, I stopped it as much as I could. I couldn't fucking breathe. Sorry. I could not breathe.
No, weird.
Oh, I could not breathe. I popped up out of the hood, out of the escape hatch up top, and I could see that I was still moving, and I was like, oh man. So I had to get back in the car, pull the brake handle
I saw
a little
you
bit
get back
more.
in. I'm like,
I
what is
did.
she
I was
doing?
like, I'm trying to save the car, man.
She's trying to save this
stop the
car.
car so it doesn't hit the wall. And I come back up because I'm like, you can't breathe. I mean, I had soot,
You
ash.
came up for breath and then you went back down. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is she doing?
I had so much ash and soot in my lungs. I jumped out of the car. I finally saw one of the track, people there with their arms up, and I was like,
I'm just happy you're okay.
"Catch
That
me,
was
Jack."
nuts.
I leaped out to him. He caught me and took
fireman
my
caught
helmet
me.
off and everything. And I remember it was like right on the tail end of COVID,
Ugh.
and they were all trying to get us to wear masks in the
The
pits
interviewer was
and
like,
stuff.
sorry, I'm not wearing my mask. I
Yeah,
can't
I
breathe.
said the F word too, but I was like, kind of like, oh, sorry. I'm like, anyway, came out, took my helmet off, ran out and did the interview. And we had won the round. That was like on Sunday during eliminations. So we were getting the guys in the pit were getting the backup car out as we were bringing the other car out because we had maybe 45-minute turnaround to get everything ready. Yeah, it was gnarly. So I was like, I got to go to the ambulance real quick, get some oxygen because I knew I had another round to do.
Get 45 minutes to recover and be ready to go.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're trying to interview her, and she's like, can't breathe, but you're so professional. Like, you're literally on it. Like, you almost died. She gets out, she's like, 1 second. I can't breathe. Sorry about the fucking mask.
Yeah.
But, here we are. And I'm like, she needs to go to the ambulance, I'm pretty sure. These people are trying to interview you,
Yeah.
and you're dying.
They love to throw a mic in your face when you're
Like,
right when you
literally.
get out of the car. I have a tendency to drop a lot of F-bombs, which they said in the beginning they want real emotions, and I'm like, you're gonna get them though. Are you sure you want this again, Dad? Are you sure you want me to pass this car right now and go 100 miles an hour? The woman that was interviewing me, she was very adamant about, oh, it's great. That's what we want to see. So
Yeah. Like,
I mean, I
kind
just
of
got
raw.
out of the car. I think they might even catch me coughing and spitting ash
They
out
did.
of my
They
mouth
wanted the
over the
drama.
wall,
But
the
it
side of
also
the wall.
shows kind of real, like what you do with your career is very dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean,
your
there's
life is really on the line.
no question about it. You have chosen probably one of the most dangerous careers ever.
Can be.
Yeah. I mean, I
There hasn't been any fatalities for a very long time.
Which is
Yeah.
awesome.
Can you hit that wood?
Oh,
for
yep.
me?
I will.
There we go. Thanks.
Does that? Are
Just,
you OCD?
no, I don't
Can
want
you
that.
do it too?
Talking about stuff.
Talk
and then
about stuff.
Knock
We're
on
knocking on
wood.
wood. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck right there.
Well, a perfect example is I had that really bad crash in Englishtown, New Jersey. My dad was talking about it before.
Okay.
Where I was racing alcohol funny car, and this actually we learn through unfortunate incidences how to innovate the safety gear, right? And everything, our safety equipment, parachutes. Obviously, we need our parachutes. Just because you have to be able to slow these cars down as quickly as they accelerate.
Right.
So you need all this extra room past the finish line to shut the cars down. You need the parachutes, the brake handles. We have
Every piece of equipment needs to be operational.
It's so important. And the way that my parachutes were welded on these two tabs on my rear end of the car, wasn't the best way. But I guess that's how a lot of cars were. Anyway, they were only welded on the outside of the tab. So each run I was making was like the fastest we had ever gone. Each run, it was getting weaker and weaker, and it was cracking.
Flexing the metal.
And the last run that I made with that car, again, I had won the round. Right. And it the parachutes, as soon as when you see the video, as soon as the parachutes blossom, they're gone. They open and they're fucking gone.
Right.
It ripped. It came off. It ripped my rear end open like a can opener and sprayed lube oil all over my brakes. So all in that moment, I was going 270 miles an hour in a quarter mile, and it slowed down as like about 100 miles an hour, but I was still going about $140.
Wow.
And the way the alcohol cars are versus the nitro cars are, the alcohol cars don't have the downforce that the nitro cars do. They don't have the spill plates in the rear end that like as soon as you lift off the throttle, the car goes. Right. You know what I mean? The alcohol cars, not so much. They cut through the air like a knife. So this thing was still hauling butt. And you know, you can't really prepare yourself for these things. You can kind of go through the motions of like, you know, sitting in your car in the pits or back at the race shop. You know, if like they'll time you, they'll be like, okay, you're suited up, you're strapped in, 7-point harness system, fire, and then you have long to get out of the car before it starts to eat up your race suit and your fire retardant race.
Oh my God, this is just like
anyway. So you know, and you kind of go
stressful.
through
the
different scenarios of like, if this happened, what would you do? And I remember my crew chief always like, you know, going like, you want to line yourself up to the middle of the sand trap, right? You don't want to like turn the wheel,
right?
You know, you don't want to
no sudden movements, just go straight.
You know, yeah, because then you don't want to pitch it sideways and barrel roll and all that kind of stuff. So I knew I was still going pretty damn fast, and my brakes weren't working, nothing was working. So I was like, I just knew, and this is all happening like, this is like
milliseconds,
thousandths of a second,
right.
Like my brain's
but
just
slow-mo, but
oh yeah, line yourself up in the middle. Like, this is gonna happen. Okay,
what is your brain reflex doing right now?
So trip out on this. Like I said, when you go that fast on a consistent basis, your brain slows everything down. Our bodies are so magnificent in this sense, where your brain could just slow everything down, and 5 minutes is more like 5 seconds. 4 seconds is just
it's like 5 minutes.
Yeah, like the
it's
opposite.
slow motion.
Yeah, it's slow motion. So I remember seeing on the side of me in my peripheral, one of the track officials going like this. Like don't turn, right? And I laughed for a second, going like, "You think I'm just gonna pitch this thing sideways?" Like, like I had a moment to kind of laugh to myself, because I'm like, "Of course I'm going straight." Right?
Like, what do you think? I'm an idiot?
No
I was like, really?
To the end, she's
it's
like,
amazing
okay.
how much you can
crazy.
think about in such a short amount of time.
Exactly.
When your brain's at full speed, it is very. It's very crazy.
And as soon as I like got, you know, up to the sand trap, I'm like, you know, getting myself lined up in the middle, whatever. As soon as my front end started to cross over from pavement to sand, I took my hands off the wheel, because at that point I'm not in control anymore.
Okay.
And I tucked my hands in my belt like this, because I didn't know what was going to happen.
You grab both sides of your belt and hold it in? Okay.
And there was a fatality at that racetrack a few years prior to that. Actually, I think it was the year prior. And he didn't make it.
Wow.
His name was Scott Coletta. And I ended up racing for his father after that, which is kind of interesting how the dog came
full
around.
circle.
As soon as my front tires crossed over, they didn't even touch the sand. I was going so fast, I didn't touch the sand at all.
You just hydroplaned over it?
Yeah, I went over the sand,
Whoa,
through both catch nets, and through 4 rows of those giant sand-filled barrels, yellow sand-filled barrels, till it finally stopped, because I was going over 100 miles an hour.
What's past that? Isn't that just that cement
Trees?
wall?
More barrels of
barrel.
like, there were
So
so
there's-
many, and then trees, forest, basically.
Yes. Eventually, there's forest.
Yeah. So the way from the motor plate forward, the angle it hit the barrels, it just kind of folded the front end up.
Oh, that's why it ended up.
Yeah, over the injector, over the motor, because the motor's in front of us, and basically the transmission's right between my legs.
Yeah, how did you?
It's just the angle. I got really lucky. The angle that I hit. And it just kind of went like this, and the car was like this. It was like a 90-degree angle.
Were you stuck in it?
An L. Oh, well, yeah.
So they got you out of the jaws of life or
it went
something?
like this. No. When it hit, it came up, went over on the top, and then came off to the side. So the roof hatch, they could open that, and I unbelted, and they pulled me out.
So they had to get you out. So it's a good thing
but they pulled me out. It wasn't like there wasn't a fire or anything.
But that's what I'm saying. There's lucky there wasn't a fire.
Yeah,
so that's amazing.
I mean, there was a little bit of smoke, but it wasn't like fire. Like
that's crazy.
But yeah, if I had hit at any other angle like this or this, I probably wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah,
talking
would have
to you
like
right
just
now.
cut you.
So I got really lucky.
Wow, gosh.
The next year, we're back at that racetrack. Right, first time racing at that racetrack. I have a new car. I'm two pairs back, and a guy by the name of Neil Parker, God rest his soul, went off the end of the track. Same deal, didn't make it. I'm like,
what is going on with that
track? And you're about ready to race again?
So yeah.
Oh,
I wouldn't even race that
was
track.
my very first race back at that place.
It just took me 14 seconds to get down that corner.
I had never
You just had this probably overwhelming sense of that could have been me.
Well, it's run by the police department there, so when it gets quiet and they're not saying anything and they shut the screens off, it's something bad has happened. And then the coroner comes and you're like, okay, great. This is really bad, dude. Like, I just couldn't.
So the year after you were there, you were in line getting ready to race.
Two pairs back, man. And this, God, it was like horrible scenario. It just, puts everything really in perspective. And it's like, what can happen. And driving these cars, at some point, you're going to have an accident.
Risk.
Something's going to happen. And there are all these, there's so many variables, so many things that could go wrong, all these tiny little parts that could cause some giant catastrophe to happen.
Daily logic check. How do you keep a sound mind when it comes to mental stability in your line of work is vital?
It is.
What do you do for yourself to keep that mental stability?
I knew the job was dangerous when I took it.
You just said, hey, I accept it.
And it's like, am I going to sit at home and be scared to death the rest of my life and make it quietly to death?
Right.
Like a clam.
Die slowly.
Like a clam at the bottom of the ocean, waiting for everything to come to them. And, I don't want to go outside. It's scary. I could get hit by a stray bullet or a car accident, whatever. Anything could happen. Anything could happen to anybody in their lives. Am I pushing the envelope? Am I pushing that level?
You feel like you're living.
Yes, I am. Definitely. But I rather live my life like an eagle, building their nest at the top of the mountain, of the highest tree,
protecting your
nest,
nest,
rain, sleet, and snow to find their food, and that's the kind of life that I was taught to live.
And you're
to
living it.
Go out, experience life. Yes, there's going to be things that can come at you from all different angles, and anything could happen. But I'm not going to sit back and wait for it to happen.
Yeah. No, obviously.
I'm not. Yeah.
I don't think you even wait for your competitors.
No.
I think you just go straight down. You're like, you know what? How's my dust taste? Good.
I love a challenge. I love a challenge.
No, it's interesting. I know a lot of people in life, they sit around and they do cry in their spilled milk or whatever, or there's always an excuse why they can't get up in the morning or why they can't achieve their goal and why they can't go this way or this way. And a lot of people would look at you and say, oh, her family and this. But actually sitting here talking to you today, I think that no matter what, even if you didn't have an ecosystem of family, you would do it.
Yes.
I have a feeling
100%.
Your spirit would just make it.
100%.
And I think that your aspirations for success and your manifestation come with just you innately understanding that. And I don't know where that comes from as children, where you get that, if you're just born with that part of your brain or that drive, or you grow into it. But my life has always been, I'll manifest something and say, look, I've always wanted to talk to smart, intellectual individuals that can educate others
Right.
in this type of setting, and we're doing it. And
People on an upward spiral.
yeah,
You know what I
I've
mean?
always, I love
bringing
that.
people up,
Bringing
educating,
people up,
like we bring
educating.
each other up.
Yeah,
you
and I
know,
think it's
sharing knowledge, sharing experiences, and,
Yes.
and how you perceive that and what you learned from it to move you forward.
Exactly.
Or to share those stories with other people that could be inspired by it.
Absolutely. And right now, and after the whole COVID thing, and we went through a lot of just negativity in the media, and everybody's just negative and pointing fingers. I was like, you know what?
I can't anymore.
No, I
Done,
can't.
man.
Andrew and I said
I'm
we
done.
can't. We're done doing dumb. I call it done doing
can't do
dumb.
it.
Yeah.
We have to
Yeah.
do smart, and that's why we called it a smart podcast. We're like, we want to talk to smart people that have something to give.
Yes.
and
Inspiring,
and it's
yeah.
crazy. My followers love to think. I didn't even know. We were like
to think?
We love to think. No, Andrew and I were shocked. I did a post.
She called me once and she was like, I tried this thing and everybody loves to
I
talk
tried
about
Logic.
it.
I did a Logic post, and I have thousands and tens of thousands of followers, and my engagement was through the roof, and I'm like,
Amazing.
they're thinkers.
Yay.
This is awesome.
There's hope yet for
Yay.
her.
They can't do dumb anymore either. This is awesome. But just to inspire, and it's great because, I've known John Paul for years, and I know Eloise for years, and I get to go to these charities and these events and meet nice people. But we were like, how do we bring them together on a podcast? I didn't even know what podcast was. Like, I'm like, what? Isn't it just like a show, like Ellen DeGeneres? And everyone's like, Andrew's like, no, you just shoot the shit for an hour.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, you just shoot the shit for an hour, then what? And he's like,
And you're
good at
not
that.
regulated by these big TV
No,
companies.
well, you can say
these
fuck? Oh my
production
God.
companies.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
and-
you can say bad words.
oh, stop
That's
it,
perfect
stop
for
it,
me.
stop
It's
it.
hard to get out. It's hard to get out an idea of what you do in just a short amount of time. Being able to talk it out, that's the way I love it, because
Yeah.
you can get the full story. You're like, we got 5 minutes to tell the story. What do you cut out? Here we can just talk until
Yeah, and we have
Talk
Luke, who's
freely.
and Michael, our editor and videographers. And you guys
Yeah.
make us look really good, by the way.
Thank
no,
you guys.
no, but what's really cool is it's like we all, you have built a life for yourself. You have products. Even artists, musicians, everybody has a product now. You should. Like, people are like, you
Brand
sold out.
yourself.
Look at you got No.
And so what?
Smartest
You know
thing.
what?
Yeah, what's your problem?
Haters are gonna hate.
No,
Haters are gonna hate.
so
Say.
freaking lootly.
Why not?
Yeah.
Like, so what?
That's what I
So
tell my
what?
audience. People are going to hate you.
You do it too.
Yes,
If you have something you believe in and you want to do it, like, so would you rather us not race? Like, would you rather
just
see
sit
me
around
just sitting?
and-
Like, I
No
couldn't sit
chance.
on a beach drinking Mai Tais all day. I
I'm
mean,
not that either.
once in
Couple
a
days.
while, but like not for a profession. I mean, I actually like to work and make something of myself and pave my own way and create my
Absolutely.
own entity and business in life.
And it feels good, doesn't it?
I want to contribute to the family. I don't want
Yeah.
to take away from it.
Exactly. You don't want to be a bloodsucker. You want to. You
Yeah.
don't want to give. You want to give it.
Exactly.
And it's
increase
fu-
the value of the family.
Yes, most definitely.
and
Yes.
people are laughing. They're like, "Why are you starting a smart podcast?" Because I haven't invited a lot of people on the show for a reason. And everyone's like, "Why
You know
hasn't
who
she
you
invited
are."
me yet?" We're like,
you're not
"Well,
that
you know who you are."
Or some people can be very smart and not interesting to talk to.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and it's
You can like maybe give them a shot of your
here's
vodka.
Here's some Bandero. Just drink
or,
this.
Or yes, I was trying to push your products.
Oh
See,
no!
I'm like,
What's funny we found. Well, welcome back, sir. See, this is your family. He goes to do He does videos.
did
You
a
guys do a
photo
whole video before this.
Oh, it's part of the
You
movie.
go do a
There's a movie
photo
coming out.
shoot. We're interviewing Alexis, and now you're back, and we're talking about Bandero tequila, and you
I
show up
love
right
it.
when we start talking about your
It's a great thing
tequila.
to talk about. It is
talk
the
about it with
smoothest tequila. It's organic, no additives, recycled
Seamus,
glass.
I love
Even
all
the
that.
leather isn't
Premium.
real. We found something that looks like leather, smells like leather, feels like it.
And we
It's-
like leather. At
Yeah,
least I
what's
do.
inside those even better. What's inside?
I know. I love your boobs.
So there you go. A little commercial.
No, but it's funny because a lot of so when the Patron thing was starting, and I saw it on your funny card, it was great. I was like, hey, this is all keeping it in the family, but
it really
also,
is, but-
like, I saw you go to Burning Man,
Yep.
right? And they serve
does.
Patron there. Are you guys going
Wild
to get
man,
all
this
this
guy.
into
I
like?
brought
He's
it with.
pretty
I brought it
wild.
with me. I brought it with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
At the
are you going to
racetrack-
start getting these in all the festivals? Because Coachella's right around the corner.
How cool would that be?
That's
mean-
a lot of people.
No, what I mean is, you know Mike Melman and the
course,
Madison
very-
Club
of course.
people and all those
Of course.
fabulous
He's
people.
my
I mean,
partner.
you could just get that shit in all the hole 9, hole 18, hole 1, 2 through 10, and then get it on the Coachella.
Oh, we do have all the Discovery projects do have Bandero or will have Bandero very, very soon.
Yeah,
Most
that's
of them
what I
already
was
have it.
thinking.
Oh,
I
no,
mean,
serious,
it
yeah.
Coachella would be perfect.
Started
You
from
could
the
get a
top. Now
booth
we're still
there.
here.
Well, I do know
there you go.
at the race
like a
this weekend.
margarita booth
Yeah.
set
Yeah,
up.
I know at the race this weekend that you have, every single bar that sells alcohol will have Bandero there. and then in the middle of the
excellent.
track, we're going to have a little setup there, a beautiful setup, where if you take your phone and you get the little things, okay, and then you type in your,
Take
your
your phone,
email.
little thing.
Dad is not. He's computer illiterate.
Tell
which
what
is fine.
try to say, okay.
I love
You mean
that.
the apps?
Wait, he just got a smartphone, which is the coolest thing ever.
I heard.
Yes, but we communicate through text now, and I love it. He's doing really
He's
good.
doing really
well.
He can send photos. He can send videos.
This is how my daughter talks about me. So I understand. I completely understand.
But I think it's awesome. People are always like, "Oh, I really want to talk to your dad. Like, what's his email?" And I'm like,
You
"Doesn't
can
have
lock
an
it.
email.
Don't do that.
Can we do a Zoom? No.
No. Can you do anything?
Do you have
No.
a fax machine? He can fax you.
The facts.
Actually, he's on Maui with Steven Tyler right now. Can you just give him? Who are you just with? You were like, you with someone like, not Pierce Bronson, but some actor somewhere. I don't know. You're always with somebody.
When I was
He's
Cheech
like,
and
yeah,
Chong,
with
when I
so-
talked to you
Cheech and
last,
Chong.
I did a movie with. We did a movie. The
Oh,
Cheech and
sorry.
Chong movie.
The South by Southwest. They were
Yep,
launching.
exactly. We launched the movie.
One of their
right here in Austin,
one of their
Texas,
deals.
right
Pretty
there.
cool.
You know, the Cheech and Chong movie. It was the first time it was ever shown. Great success. Everyone loved
So
it.
you need to be wearing one of those Bandera shirts whenever you're meeting all these people.
Yeah, that's true.
Every video is
I'm
of
representing.
you
Where'd you
going
get that shirt,
Bandero, Bandero, Bandero.
You're right. I'm gonna learn from you guys. I'll do that exactly.
It's funny, all the videos, everywhere online, he's wearing a Patron shirt.
Yep.
So you need to get your
I
dad,
know.
you make
Well,
sure he wears that Patron,
yeah.
that Bandero
We're
shirt.
gonna do it. We're gonna
And
do it.
everywhere
We're
he
gonna
goes, he's like, he came to Coachella one year
Yeah.
at the Madison Club.
Yep.
And I
That
was
was
with
John
Mike's
Anthony,
husband.
but I
and
was still
I
involved
think
with Patron at the time. So
you
of
were with
course.
Patron at the
Yeah.
time. Literally, I have all this group of my friends. He walks in like a bat out of hell, and he's like, "Let's do shots. I'll meet you guys at the bar." And everyone's like, "Is that John Paul DeJoria, Mr. Patron?" Everybody just went to the bar
We
like,
meet a lot of people.
"I'll just take one shot."
So that hasn't stopped. I want to tell you. On Sundays, okay?
Okay.
Every round I win, he does a shot.
Oh my god!
And
I
he
love
brings
it.
everybody in.
Do a shot
Let's
for
do a
everyone.
shot. So by the finals,
You're like,
people are. No, it's so funny. People are so happy because they're like doing shots with dad, and he's like, "Yeah." We're like, "Woo!" So it's like the best party ever. It's so good.
You guys have the best booth, the best party, the best car. Everyone's probably like, "I want to be over there."
Yeah, that's
Whatever
where all
they're
the fun's
drinking,
happen.
I really want, not just whatever they're drinking.
Yeah, we have a really good time over there.
And plus, you do alcohol cars.
good.
You know, what is it that you keep saying, the alcohol car or whatever?
Oh yeah, well they run off. Of,
They run off what kind of
methanol?
methanol. Yeah. That's
Fuel,
so funny.
on alcohol.
You're
that,
just
like,
surrounded by anything that says alcohol in it.
Yeah.
With your full throttle.
Isn't
Do you
that
notice
weird?
that?
Yeah.
You sort of have a liquid diet in your life.
He has a motorcycle that runs off tequila.
I do.
Shut up.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Wait,
Do a shot.
are you serious?
You pour it in there.
Yep.
Put it in the tank.
Yep.
That is
Yeah.
badass.
Well, people didn't believe it, so I know
Is
at the rat rally that we had in Austin some time ago, I had the motorcycle there, right? And people saw it, but we had to the side a couple bottles of tequila, and they said that doesn't really run off of it. So what I do is I take the bottle, I pour it right in the gas tank, except for the last quarter inch. I take a sip and pass it around. Oh, that is tequila. Then I start the motorcycle.
That is awesome, though.
So
Come
cool,
on, think about it.
Yeah, no,
Wait, does
that
your
is-
choo-choo, what's your caboose?
Oh, the
I'll be our
train.
train.
the
No, it
train
doesn't
car.
run off alcohol.
But no, is it stocked up with like just a ton of Bandero now? We got rid of the Patron.
Yeah, I mean, Patron will always be an integral
Part of it.
part
Oh
of our
God,
history.
yeah. Are you
My
kidding?
dad started
As
the
creator
company.
of
My God.
Patron,
Of course,
Yeah,
but
he
do
will
you have
always
it
be the
rebranded
godfather
though?
of Patron. That'll never
Yes.
end.
Yeah, that will never end.
No, but now you need to co-brand it though, because that caboose is all over the internet. So you need to put Bandero on the back now too. You got to like add it both.
Yeah.
But no,
Well, I
Express.
got that to its original owner. The original owner really wanted it, and they came to me. His daughter came to me and
Yeah.
said, this is what we really need in the family. Anyway, JP, we could get this back. And I made it very available to them.
you need to.
What was a wedding present at first, wasn't it?
Isaac Tigret, who started the Hard
What?
Rock Cafes
Hard
and
Rock
the House of
Cafe and the
Blues.
House of Blues,
When I
yeah.
married Eloise
Oh,
in
wow, that's cool.
1993, his gift
that could be-
was his train car.
know.
Then it was
To be
called Car
successful.
50.
So
It's called
cool.
Car 50. He gave me Car 50 to take anywhere I wanted, okay, as a wedding gift. Wolfgang Puck gave us his sous chef to take on the train with us, okay, and all the food.
wild,
Dan
yeah.
Aykroyd gave me a case of Bordeaux.
I love
and
Aykroyd.
Of course,
Yeah, he's great.
And of course, we had the Patron and everything else on it, and that was all. That's a wedding gift.
Hey,
It was a
could
nice one.
you get the Ghostbusters packet from
Okay.
Dan Aykroyd for me? Just a.
I want to go to that.
The
so I wanna
car.
see
Yeah,
that
we
The,
So
so
the
bad.
new movie?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
new movie looks.
I want to see
Dan
that. That'd be
Aykroyd
exciting.
took me to a 50 Cent concert at the House of Blues on Sunset.
What?
Oh, that's awesome.
And 50 cents promoted our Patron. He had he fed me one bottle with diamonds all over the bottle.
Yeah.
50
He
cents was just
bedazzled
great.
it.
He was just
50
great.
cents.
50 cents.
Was it 50 cents?
Are you going to go
50
on
cents.
the Twitter?
50 Cent, just a 50
JP, you
cent.
want
Oh,
the
I thought it was
Twitter?
50 cents.
No, it's 50 Cent.
Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. He's such a great guy. I'm so
love that.
sorry. 50 cents.
50 Cent. It's 50
Well, no,
Cent.
man,
Like
remember
you
when you
said
meet
something
too
at
short, he's not
CNT?
short.
No, cent, like a 50
He's not
cent.
shorts.
Like a 50
Too
cent,
shorts.
50 cent, like, you know.
50 cent piece.
Coin,
50
piece,
cents.
Yeah. 50
Yeah, like
cents.
it's not a coin. It's like a
You got to end it on the T.
50 cent.
Yeah, 50,
50 cent.
50
And when you
cent.
say you got to
50
go 50 cent.
No, you
50
don't.
cent.
50 cents.
Look how you say it. 50 cent. No,
See,
he's
he's
got
the
it.
East Los right here. East Los.
Well, he's Missouri right there. 50 cent. Daily Logic Check. So, what's your favorite race car movie?
Cannonball Run.
Really?
Yeah, I fell in love with the
I've never seen it.
Lamborghini. Oh my gosh. The Lamborghini Countach was my
Countach, right.
favorite car ever. I was like, I don't know. I think I was like 6 or 7 when I was I was like obsessed with that car. And I was like, Dad, for my first car, I want a Lamborghini Countach. And he's like, no. But great idea. That's
Great
really
idea.
nice.
I love where your
That's-
head's
You
at.
yeah, I
guys
love
Look
had
where
at
you
your
on the
head's at.
bag. Yeah, okay,
I was
Alexis.
like, I will swim from one end of the pool to the other underwater, hold my breath the whole time. And can I? No.
How old are you?
But I was just like persistent about it. I was like, I'll do whatever. No, honey.
No,
I was like,
you can't.
"But I was obsessed with Lamborghinis from that movie.
Did he? Now you've done a Cannonball Run, haven't you?
Yep.
Is that how she knew about the car, or the movie, or how-
Maybe, I don't know,
I
but
think
Charlie
they kind
and
of
I
went
did
hand
it.
in
They went
hand.
hand
It was
in hand.
like, yeah, but obsessive. Like saw the cool hot chicks and like Lamborghini Countach going by and like,
Well, you should get a Lamborghini
I took
Countach now and just go on a Cannonball Run and live your dream.
well,
Live your best
yes,
life, honey.
I
Do
know,
you?
right? Like I said to Dad, what was the one car you always wanted growing up that you couldn't get but you always wanted? Oh, 57 Chevy Bel Air.
Candy apple
Got
red.
it.
Okay.
Alexis, what car did you want when you were a child? You couldn't have,
Manifest,
but you always
Alexis.
wanted.
Manifest.
I want a Lamborghini Countach.
There you go.
I need to win a championship first. I don't have that kind of funds, but I really one day I will have one of those.
What
I
did we
will.
just learn today?
Oh, I'm manifesting.
Manifestation.
I'm
Just put it to the
manifesting.
When I
universe.
win a
Out there.
championship,
Andrew wants Alexis.
I'm going
I mean,
to
no.
get-
I want a Tesla.
want me?
Andrew wants a Tesla. I mean, not Alexis, a Tesla. I told him manifest it. You just the
Tesla?
Lamborghini.
Yes, I would love it.
I'm gonna
yeah.
manifest
That's what I'm
a
going.
You don't
crew
like
car.
cars, do
I need
you?
a Sprinter
I
van.
not
love
a car
cars,
guy, are you?
but when I drive my daughter around, I love a muscle car. I love.
They're fast.
They're amazing, but for driving around town, I don't want
He
to hear the motor.
wants
If I just want
a
to go pick her up at
freaking
school,
Tesla.
it's just quiet. It's easy. Where I live, it's really cheap electricity, and it's
Oh, yeah.
He gets-
hydro powered.
It's free electricity.
Yeah, it's basically free.
My stepmom has a Tesla. Yeah, she loves it. They're very fast.
But they're definitely not you. I mean, but I would love to have
They're
a muscle
fun.
car
They're
because
fun cars.
but if I needed my daily driver, absolutely a Tesla. So I really
Yeah,
like it,
that's
so.
cool. My daughter's first car was a Prius, a Toyota Prius.
Oh, this is one thing I want to ask you.
Yeah.
I was on the top of my head. So I went to Monaco Formula One years and years
Oh,
ago.
fantastic.
I heard Well, I guess that year, the following year, they were trying to convert everything to electric.
Yes.
What is your
the
thought?
E-series of
A drag
F1.
racer?
No. Oh, for drag racing? Never going to happen.
Never going to
that's what I'm
happen
saying.
because
Never
there's not
gonna
enough
happen.
nitro.
Okay.
We
'Cause I know
run
they have
off
an
of
E-series on
nitromethane, which is a liquefied propane, basically.
Are they going to try to go
And-
electric drag racing? Not anytime soon.
But
it's
what do you
not
think
happening.
of what do you think
It's
of
not
Formula
happening.
One trying to
Sounds
be
everything.
eco-friendly?
Well, there is an E series.
Okay, so
There's
I
an
haven't
electric
been back,
series.
but so
There's
they
an
did make the
E-series.
E-series. Okay.
But
No noise.
I just
Part of it's a noise.
I like the
It's
noise
all
of the
about the noise.
rumble.
The
I like
rumble,
the
yeah, me
sound,
too.
the
I don't
energy.
know.
When I went
just it's not.
She's like sinks in her chair.
I just can't.
They've
when I
ruined
went-
Formula One.
When my daughter and I went and
ruins
watched
it.
you race it, when my daughter and I went and watched you race at Pomona, it was the first time I had
Oh,
been.
she went. That's right.
Yeah. So I had been to, it was SIR at the time up in Seattle. It's called Pacific Raceway now.
yeah,
but when it was
Pacific Raceway.
SIR, I went there and I got to, my friend used to race motorbikes there, but they had the drag racers at one point in time
Yeah.
at night, and we were in the pits, and you could hear them. I was like, wow, that sounds impressive.
Yeah.
But first time I actually got to feel them was when I went to see you in Pomona, and you even let me go all the way to the track, and I was only like
Up there,
20
yeah.
feet from your car, and it was.
Wow.
And the feeling, you can't beat that.
No.
Well, it moves you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like getting punched in the chest.
It is.
No electric
Awesome.
car
It
is
was
ever going to do
awesome.
that. No electric car is ever going to excite you like that
Yeah, they're
overwhelming
fast.
power. I don't care how fast it is.
Right.
It's not that.
It's not. And you can't get that.
No, you cannot.
Or you can't
Anything
breathe
else
that.
on the
I
planet.
couldn't
Yeah,
breathe.
the
I remember like,
nitro flame.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
this is amazing.
The
It was.
yellow,
It
the
was so
yellow
amazing
clouds.
to watch you race.
I was like, oh, this is amazing. We're so close that we
People
couldn't
love
breathe.
it.
I'm like, that's living right there.
Yes.
People love
Yes.
it. They'll stand behind the car in the pits when we're warming up, just full face of nitro, just
So they're doing a movie about you now, though. So I mean,
documentary. Yeah.
so documentary
Pretty
and
cool.
all of it. So that's super cool. Is there anything in
exciting.
there like
Not
secret?
yet.
Not yet. Okay, you can't talk about any of it.
Not yet.
You can't give us the skinny, the
Oh,
tea.
you got to go see the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, when are they going to be
I
done
don't
with
even
it?
know what the name of it is yet. I don't.
Oh,
think
Alexis
we have
DeJoria,
a
obviously.
title, but it's gotta have something cooler than that. Like it's gotta be a cool, badass title.
Living on the Edge.
Featuring
Living on the
Alexis
Edge, Top
DeJoria
Fuel.
or something.
That's
Living
amazing.
on the edge.
Living on the
And
yeah.
Steven
You should
Tyler
get
can
Steven
sing.
Tyler to sing the
There you go.
soundtrack. You know, manifest it, Alexis.
Yeah, let's do it.
My audience has learned
We do
anything
this.
from you.
There
It's
you go.
Get your
manifestation.
Lamborghini if we keep
Steven
this up.
Tyler
Let's get
should
this going.
be on the
Lamborghini, we
soundtrack.
got a Tesla, and I got a Sprinter
If
van.
he wrote the song,
He
mean
did.
just like she is. Oh,
Living on-
Stephen wrote it?
That's Steven Tyler. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll call Stephen up and see if he'll let us use it or something.
Yeah.
It'll
Here
save
we
us some
go.
money. It'll
See,
save us some
Alexis?
money.
Name drop.
Name
Stephen
drop.
is he's my pal. He's wonderful, and he'll probably go back on the road again after August or September. Had a little challenge, but he's overcoming his challenge now, and he's great. He's one of the greatest
Good.
singers. You know, he's been singing for over 50 years, and
Forever.
he's as good today, I think, as he was 50 years ago.
Well, remember, I was
watched
with
your
you with my
Daltrey, same
ex-husband at Sturgis when
That's
he
right.
fell off the stage that time. Remember?
Oh man.
Remember that time he hurt himself? We were all together.
Ouch.
So and he was phenomenal. I
Bounced
mean,
right
yeah, that
back.
sucked. That he was okay.
Yeah.
But I was there and heard him sing, and I couldn't believe he
incredible.
sounded so good. I was like, he's
Yeah.
this little guy. He's
Old
just
man.
like, woo!
Just
Oh,
going
yeah.
to town. And,
Yeah.
He had his
the
like,
guys-
Like Mick Jagger,
Mick
man.
Jagger
like
style.
he just like
Yeah.
They're all around the
jumps
same age.
around that.
You
Yeah.
know, you
stage.
look
It's
at the
amazing.
Who, you look at the Rolling
Yeah,
Stones, you
yeah.
look at Steven Tyler.
still
oh my God, how about
amazing
Robert
artists.
Plant?
Robert Plant.
I mean,
Yeah.
all these guys are
Ooh,
just.
what they say about life? We've got to
Sammy
make the
Hagar,
world
look
a
at
better
Sammy
place.
Hagar.
Or,
I still have a
Sammy
I still have an
flies
Aerosmith
Rolling
across
tape.
the
Stones.
stage.
I still have an
Delivered.
Aerosmith tape from 1976, the year I was born, and it's got it's Aerosmith. I
Wow.
still saved it. It's in my safe. I was like, I had it from when I was a kid, and it was actually came out in 1976, the year I was born, and I have that. I was like, he's been singing as long as I've been alive.
I think they're aliens. Jumbo,
Yes.
I'm just letting you know. I really think that the Rolling Stones are aliens.
It's wild to think
yeah,
they've
but
been, he's been famous
I hear you.
for half a century.
Yeah, we'll do one of your podcasts sometime on aliens.
Yeah, we need to do it later
Yeah.
on aliens
Yeah.
again.
Definitely.
Because I gotta
Definitely.
tell you though, if she's a funny car driver, if you could drive a spaceship, You would bust out. We could get to Mars. Elon, move over. We're going to be there in no time. Alexis is on her way.
I'm going to manifest.
We're going to hotwire the spaceship. And we're
Manifest
going
the
to
spaceship to Mars. Alexis
We'll
is
do a ride
piloting.
swap. You can drive my funny car. I can fly the spaceship. It's all good.
It'll be good.
Well, you know, I think I manifested this because I did an interview when I was like in my teens I went to the NHRA track, and I didn't know how to interview. I didn't know anybody. And
that's so cool.
They had me interview somebody. It was back in the day. I don't even know who I was interviewing. They put me in a little outfit. So I was like a little cute girl. Like,
find this.
It's on the internet.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. And
What
so-
would it be under?
I'm not telling anybody right
Please,
now.
Tell us all.
And I was super tiny and cute, and I was like, "Hi, I'm here right now." And I'm like, all these cars are going by. Anyway, now I'm
looking
sitting
it
with
up.
you here. I'm more mature, a little bit better at my job.
I'm looking it up. I
can
gotta
fake
find
it.
this.
She
I'm
fakes
gonna
it
find
well.
this over lunch. Dad,
Yeah, it's really embarrassing.
that sounds
Anyway.
amazing, actually.
Daily Logic Check. So on our podcast, you know, I really wanted my audience to really grasp who you were and how you got to be such a badass. No, I'm just kidding. You know, and it just takes such girl balls to get to where you're at, and it is possible to be a top of your game, a top racer. You know, you do have a stellar dad who's obviously created a huge life for himself, but your full throttle life comes full circle when it comes to you and what you've created. I'm so proud of you. And I'm sure all the women watching are just in awe of you whenever they see any of your races. The fact that you've had your family, you've got your ecosystem down, and you have a mental state of mind to get in that car and go 300 miles an hour in 4 seconds down 1,000 feet of speedway.
Yeah.
Is super awesome. But on our podcast, Andrew and I, we have a little way we want to give back, and we're giving $1,000 to we're doing our podcast launch, so $1,000 to a charity of your choice. So do you have a charity in mind that
incredible.
you'd like to donate to?
I do, actually. They're called Vet Paw, and it's veterans, like Army veterans,
Yes.
people in the service, when they retire from being in the
Vet
service.
Paw?
Yes.
Okay.
They use their skills that they learned, abroad and whatnot to protect endangered animals in Africa.
Wow. Okay. And are they
So-
local here? They're 501c3 and all that?
Oh, they're
Great.
all good. Yeah.
So what we're doing is on the video, because it will be a video on YouTube and X and everything, we're going to put the link to that charity on there as well. So people
Great.
can go in my audience, if they just want to understand who they are, they can click, donate, or whatever. And that's one thing we could at least do, right? So because
Give back.
And to give back is to really promote
Very
the
nice.
charity of your choice.
Excellent. Thank you.
No, absolutely. And we also have a little gift for both of you from Andrew and I. Now, so JP, your gift is well, just take your. I picked this one out specifically for you.
Vargas.
Thank you. Thank you. It is
so
a Tiffany
it's-
bag. I knew it.
Hat,
love
t-shirt.
it.
See,
I
I
love
would
it
have never
already.
known it's Tiffany.
I see girls know Tiffany. Wait, I gotta get a
That's
picture of this.
okay.
This is amazing.
Dad, you got a Tiffany box.
Okay, so JP, yours is actually the
Let's open it together.
Let's open. Okay.
yeah.
Let's open it.
JP, I wasn't planning on really giving you one. That was actually for Eloise.
Must be a diamond ring. That
No, it's for Eloise, but you can open it.
Oh my gosh,
I will
it's
take- I'll bring Eloise's
beautiful.
present.
Well,
Thank you. Oh, I love it.
So that's
Thank you
for-
Oh wow,
so much.
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
So that's for
Rad.
Eloise. It's a beautiful necklace for.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Thank
But
you.
yeah.
Oh, great.
Sorry,
Wow.
John Paul. I figured you didn't want a Tiffany. So,
No, I don't.
Wow.
so this is more. The girls at Tiffany picked this out
That's
for
so
you.
amazing.
This is
Showed her a
nice.
picture
I
of
love
you
it.
and a
Thank
video of you
you.
This is
racing, and
great.
the girls picked that out for
This
you.
is perfect.
Yeah,
Oh, I
just a
love
little
it.
thing to say thank you for being part of our
Yes.
podcast
Thank
launch.
you so much.
And that's for Eloise for
I'm putting it back
she let us
together
use
again.
you.
Okay.
You let us
That way
use-
we can- that way
Yes,
she can
sir.
have
You
it.
let us
Love
use
it.
your
Here,
house.
here,
She
you
let
want
us
to
use
try it? I
our
can try it.
living
I
room.
got
Thank
it.
you so
I left
much.
it. I left the
Oh my
bowl in
gosh.
And then also,
You have the best
This
podcast.
isn't
You give
this isn't
presents?
tequila,
is
but this is Andrew's and my vodka.
Oh,
Vargas
hey.
vodka.
So wait,
It just says thank
This
you.
is like the best alcohol to drink if you're
Yes.
trying to watch your figure
Yes,
as
it
well,
is.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, we love tequila, but if
Did
you're
you
gonna
get it
drink
on
a
this
vodka,
is fantastic.
yeah, and your dad's
Taste
my
of-
partner in this.
taste
So since you guys have your own tequila, he doesn't invest in vodka. And he asked me when I very first pitched him, I'm like, hey, he goes, why would I don't drink vodka. Why would I invest in vodka? And I go, well, he goes, what makes you, a pro in vodka? I go, well, I drink a lot of it. That's funny. I know what I'm talking about. So I want to thank you, Alexis and John Paul, for being on the
pleasure.
podcast
Always
today.
a pleasure.
And just expressing to our audience, how to make it and how to break it and how not to break it, actually.
Yes.
How not to break it. I hope we can have you back, after your race. We could talk about some things later on down the road, get a little nitty gritty. So good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
And so, Alexis, you've created such a wonderful life yourself. You live full throttle. Is there any suggestions you would give to any young woman that want to get into the racing industry?
Yes. Many times in our lives, we will fall. There will be doors shut in our faces. And it's not about the times that you get rejected. It's about how many times you get back up and you persevere and you push through all that negativity and you go for what you want. That's it. Just keep going.
That's beautiful.
Don't ever give
Lex.
up.
Beautiful.
That's
Amazing
beautiful.
advice.
I agree. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
That's it.
Peace, love, and happiness.
Yeah, here.
Daily Logic Check. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Daily Logic Check. I'm Elizabeth Vargas, your host, with my co-host, Andrew Vargas. If you like what you saw, you like what you see, click like, subscribe, follow us, and support us on Patreon. Peace, love, and happiness. Daily Logic Check.